I'm also a large animal handler and trainer, and I'm going to be bringing out some animals to spend some personal time with you guys in the audience. And because of that, I have a couple of quick rules that I need you to follow. My first rule is that I need all my little guys and gals to stay on their bottoms. I don't want to trip over one of your little critters with one of my little critters, squishing them, the animal, or ourselves. The next rule is also pretty important. You don't have to touch anything that you don't want to. It's a pretty good rule, right?
Yeah.
I am not here to scare you with my animals, but I am going to ask that you listen and learn about the animal and then decide if you want to touch. And if you're with somebody who happens to be afraid of the animals that I bring out, please do not scare them. There are two reasons. Aside from this alligator, all of the animals that are coming out of that back room belong to myself, not to Jungle Adventures. They're my own private collection of animals, and I'm nice enough to use them in these shows. I don't want them to hit the ground. The next reason is because I had a husband and wife sitting right over there. They were from Manhattan, New York. The husband thought it would be very funny to take my snake and shove it in his wife's face. That woman did not bat an eye. She brought her fist back and she popped her husband in the nose in the middle of my wildlife show. Everybody laughed at him. Kind of deserved it. The next rule is for the first animal, which is this guy, and the first animal only, I'm going to respectfully request that you do not take a photograph, because I'm going to take it. Hi.
Hi.
I'll wave back. He's one of the trained alligators we have in the state of Florida. The first thing you're going to notice about Al is that Al has a safety device. What is that safety device? It is clear. It's clear electrical tape. Now, the reason we use clear electrical tape is because it sticks to itself and not to the alligator. So when I take this off later, it's not going to hurt them at all. These said the reason we tape their mouth shut is so they don't bite, but actually it's because it's a little boy alligator, and if I didn't tape his mouth shut, he would talk for my whole show. No. It is so they don't bite. 80 teeth from birth. 300 pounds of pressure on the bite at this size. So they're already a formidable predator. Daddy, look!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Right around head up here. Flat hand. Just like that. You guys look like you may have been on the beach for a little while.
Yeah.
That's the way it's like.
That is fun. Do you want to do it, Mom? You don't have to.
There you go.
You don't have to, Mom.
Off the head.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel.
And they don't like to bite people, which I find very attractive in a snake. Now, before I ask you to touch this guy, I want you to feel the back of your thumbnail. Feel on it, scrub on it, give it some love. For all of you that just did that, you touched the snake whether you wanted to or not. Because your thumbnail is made of the exact same stuff as this snake's scales. It's called keratin, and it's also the same stuff that your hair is made out of. Now, was it slimy at all? No. If it was, you probably need to wash your hands. Should be smooth and soft, just like the snake scale will feel. If you're nervous about touching a snake for the first time, I will help you out. I will hold the head to me, and I will extend the tail to you. I know for a fact you can touch the tail because guess what? The butt has never been a single person. It is a fairly safe place to go. Should I hold it?
I gotta get picture of you first.
One hand there, just like that. Nope, underneath with mine. Under, flat hand. There you go. And this hand goes right over there. Just like that. There you go.
What's that?
Nope, they don't bite.
He's looking around.
That is so cool.
Underneath right here. There you go.
You can let bones moving.
You can. Their body's set up like a whole bunch of little ribs.
That is.
We're going to see mice and rats here, unfortunately.
Woohoo!
This is a Florida king snake.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh my goodness.
That's its main downfall is that this is a very, very beautiful snake. They were actually over-collected for the pet industry. People thought they looked much prettier in houses than they did outside where they actually belong.
They're beautiful.
The next strike they have against them is an animal that is an invasive species, which means it doesn't belong here, and it's called a fire ant. Those fire ants climb inside of the egg mounds, and they will eat king snake eggs. And the last strike they have against them is they build their homes in high and dry areas. And guess where we build our homes? High and dry areas. They're running out of habitat. This snake used to roam from the tip of Florida all the way up into Georgia, and now I've been here for 15 years and I've never seen one in the wild. They are a very, very good snake. King snakes. Any snake with the word king in it has a very peculiar eating habit. Not only do they eat mice and rats, but they eat other snakes, including venomous ones. So is it a good snake or a bad snake?
Good.
It's a great snake.
Great.
It's the one that you want to have around, and unfortunately, you're just never going to see them. When you touch this snake, it is the softest snake you will ever feel. But it's also the strongest, because it has to take down snakes of its own size to spray.
OMG, it's so soft. Oh my God, it's so soft. I want to hold it. I want to take a hold.
Just like that.
Why is there a lump there?
She has a nematode that we have to get removed, which is a parasite. And she's also been handled by my personal hero, Bill Nye the Science Guy. But her real claim to fame is that she has been handled by 42,000 kids in 10 different states. She is an arachnid. She does have 8 legs. On the end of her 8 legs, she has hooks that are like Velcro. She can cling on to just about anything. I have tarantulas out back with hooks that are so sharp they can find the pores in glass and they can walk up glass. From an engineering standpoint, that is just short of insane. She has the same amount of eyeballs that she has legs. She has 8 eyeballs located on the top of her head, and where they are located, she can see in 360 degrees. All spiders can. That's why it's difficult to kill them from the top, so you can see them coming. Big round back end is called the abdomen. On the back end of the abdomen, she has 2 little finger-like projections called the spinnerets. That is where she shoots her web from. This spider is extremely sweet. She's never bitten a single person. If she had, I obviously wouldn't be employed. Chilean rosehair tarantulas, as a rule, do not bite people. The reason for that is because that is not their first line of defense. Their first line of defense is actually very funny. They spin around and they kick hair at you. It's called urtication. It's kind of itchy. If you've ever seen itching powder, that is crushed up tarantula. Yeah.
You do speak well of it?
Itching powder, like they used to sell it, and I don't know if they still sell it here, but it goes on your hands or you put it in something and it makes it itchy. It's crushed up tarantula. That is what itching powder is.
Why?
Because apparently it was funner for people to throw dead tarantula at each other than it was to actually have a real one. Now, if you want to hold her, you are more than welcome to. 2 hands flat as a pancake. I'll put her right in your hands. 2 hands.
Does it tickle?
Hmm?
Does it tickle?
It does tickle.
And how many eyes does it have? 2?
8 on the top of its head. It's an arachnid. All arachnids have 8 legs and 8 eyes or more. Tarantulas have 12 eyes.
I like snakes. But I don't want the tarantula.
Do you want to hold it? Didn't poop on you.
I do. What is it? Oh, it's climbing up on my shirt.
Is that a female spider?
This one, yes, is a female.
How
The females
How
live
can you
longer.
tell from a
Mine
female?
Hold that
bigger
one, not a
or-
cat.
The males.
You hear him hiss?
Give you an example. This is a 7.5-foot a 7-foot alligator sitting next to our largest male. He's the 3rd largest in captivity anywhere in North America. From the tip of his nose to the hinge of his jaw, it's 32 inches. If I were to fall into this alligator's mouth head first, he would take me to my waist.
Take you to his waist.
Hey, you.
If you were to fall into this alligator's mouth head first,
Goliath.
you would take it to his waist.
Hi. Head up. Come on. Put your head up. Head up. Thank you. You want some? Oh, I missed. But she got it. Hold on, I'll bring it more. You mad I missed?
Still keeping his mouth open.
Want it? Head up. A little higher. There you go. Is that cold? It might be a little cold. Did it go in? Yeah, it went in. An alligator has a solid line on the back of their throat. called epiglottis. They have to open it in order to eat. They actually can't open it underwater. So what happens is, after he gets food on his mouth, he'll pick his head up, open his epiglottis, and move his head, and it pushes the food back into his mouth, down into his throat. An alligator the size of Patches over here bites down with 1,500 pounds of pressure. An alligator the size of Goliath bites down with 3,000 pounds of pressure. To give you an accounting of what 3,000 pounds of pressure is like, a thing in a junkyard that crushes cars down to a small box works on 3,000 pounds. That alligator can literally bite you in half with no teeth.
No teeth.